Welcome to another edition of Mortgage Talks. I'm your host, Adam Hires. Got another great one slated today. Don't have a guest on. I'm sorry. Please don't tune out. This is going to be a great one. And what we're going to talk about today is they have a lender. Who cares? So what? Oftentimes, and again, if you are, I talk about this all the time. If you're not a mortgage loan officer and you're listening to this podcast, apply this to your business. You're an insurance. I know there's a great insurance agent out there that listens. Big shout out to Ryan there. There's a lot of there's other insurance agents that listen to it. There's real estate agents that listen to this. There's just entrepreneurs, business professionals, et cetera, that listen to this podcast, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much. By the way, hit me a 5-star, can you, and write a review. I would be so grateful. I'm not trying to sell you all these programs into coaching even. I'm just on a journey, on a mission to make sure that I help you as much as possible in this podcast, and I want to get the word out. But you can apply this to your business, whatever you do. And obviously, if you're a lender, this is directly to you. And there's so many times that people get caught up in the minutia of they have somebody already to do that. And I can't get business from them because they already have somebody, and they hit that roadblock and somebody says, hey, I got somebody, and then it's all defeating. So we're going to go into that and love to dive in, help you get past that huge hurdle that is going on. So definitely want to continue to share with you my 0 to 150 loans, zero contacts, zero zilch, coming into Georgia from Kentucky and growing this business. Give you an update on that, what's been going on, what's been working, what's been failing, what's been falling on my face. The first thing it's a struggle here is just understanding the area and where things are at. In Kentucky, I was, never knew where everything was at. If I was trying to schedule a meeting, et cetera. I love Zoom meetings, but being in person is a great thing. And it's, can have a little more impact, I feel, if you can actually the first time meet in person, or at least at some point down the line, right? So trying to figure out where everything is in relation to me and trying to schedule appointments sometimes is going to, hey, I got to pick out different coffee shops that's around me. So that's one thing that's been a little bit of a struggle. And, the struggle, again, is just a lot of it's internal struggle to where, again, I talk about, I was on a podcast the other day and, he was kind of asking me about what was going on, my journey, all this stuff. Well, I've always prided myself in kind of was pushing outside my comfort zone. When I was a power lifter, I pushed outside my comfort zone, all this stuff. Well, along the way, last year, obviously I was doing more concerted effort on pushing hires coaching. And, I was doing really well in loans, but I wasn't really pushing outside my comfort zone. I could pick up loans by when a loan came in, just communicating real well, asking for a next deal, talking to a seller agent, et cetera. But I never had to push out my side of my comfort zone too much this last year when it came to loans. Now, I was for hires coaching, but not for lending. And so, that internal struggle this year's, when it comes to nobody knows me in Georgia, and just taking off some of that armor, right? Taking off the armor and saying, you know what, I'm going to do what it takes to be successful here, and the path to growing the quickest. What is that going to be? And a lot of people out there are going to be like, well, the law of attraction. There's so many programs out there that act like you don't have to call anybody, you don't have to do anything, just the floodgates open, all that stuff. But I mean, at the end of the day, if you get past your BS that you got going in your head, and you just, what's the quickest, fastest way to gain traction, to get up and running and ball on a budget, everything else. And it's just pick up that dang phone and make the call. And so I got outside my comfort zone, but that's been difficult because, listen, I mean, everybody's got an ego. I got an ego. Sometimes I got to throw it to the wolves and say, you know what, I got to take that armor off. And it's just serving people and saying, here I am, and I'm just a dude doing loans, trying to help you, trying to serve you and your family, trying to serve you and your clients, and getting out there and just doing the work. Now, obviously, I have a team, and I have built upon this, but really, at the end of the day, just a guy doing loans, just trying to do it at a higher pace, a higher level than your average loan officer, right? At the end of the day, that's what we're doing. So I had to get over some of that and just go after it. And there's that fear of just failure, right? The fear of failure, man, but it can really fuel you, because I'm on podcast, and I've actually shared with the potential real estate agents, so it's always about how you turn things. And just like we had our guest on here, Jason Lynette, great guy, is he was talking about, tell people you're on a mission, right? And I'm on a mission. And I told my real estate agents, I'm on a mission. And let me tell you something, I'm on a mission to serve 150 clients this year, buy a home in the state of Georgia. And let me tell you something, you go to the top of that list, because, man, I'm trying to help and just grow in this new state. Now, obviously, I am continuing to try to grow in Kentucky, and I am, and things are going well there, and I continue to pour in and call the people I need to and make the contact and everything else. But there's also this hyper focus, right? So I want to share that with my potential business relationships. I'm focused so much on that, and they go to the front of the line, and that's good. People want VIP service. People want VIP service, and so you need to tell them. You can't just give VIP service. It's great too, but you also want to illustrate the point. You want to talk about it. You want to. It's your marketing to that referral partner while selling them, right? It's like a marketing machine that you're throwing out there and saying, hey, this is what I'm doing, and because you want to show them value. The value is being a VIP member. And this is what comes with a VIP membership is going to the front line and up my team, myself, or if you don't have a team, I'm hyper focused on helping you. And that's what you want to do, is roll out the red carpet, let them know that you're rolling out the red carpet. And that's going to really help you win. So again, it's like obscurity. When I talk about, hey, you got to mention it, you got to talk about it. You can be the best loan officer in the world, knowing the most, the most, you're better than any underwriter. But if you're living in obscurity, then you're still not going to do the loans and that you need to. And so the one that wins is the one that's out there the most, the one that people knows the most. And so if you're going to be known the most, there's all these different avenues. And so we talk about old school, new school in this, by the way, is so I met with one real estate agent, and went great. I got on my Facebook. I messaged her through there, had some familiarity going. Made the appointment. And when we sat down and had a great conversation and rolled out the red carpet for what we do, had some good value adds there. I brought my powerful planner that I have for real estate agents to help them grow their business. So again, my value add is communication. My main two is communication and coaching, trying to help them. Hey, how somebody said, hey, I went there and the broker said, hey, she's trying to do, I think it was 60 deals this year. And I was like, how about we help her do 70? She's like, I like to hear that. And so when I went into the meeting, I told her we had some back and forth and some tips how to grow her business and maybe some ways we can help with that, facilitate that as well. So that's a great value add. And so got, her daughter came in, which works with her as well. And her daughter comes in, she's like, here's who we're sending her business to. And one of the things she did, she said, I said, listen, I got these references. So I already have on them in my notes on my phone. I've already put the real estate agents that have done a lot of transactions together, have done their own personal, a lot of them have done their own personal loan with me, and just, they love me. And they're my references. So I can copy and paste and throw those, boom, right at a real estate agent here in Georgia, So there you go. There's evidence of success. Here it is. And I said, hey, I could send that over to you. And we're talking. She said, I don't need that. She said, I love your Facebook. I love everything that you're talking about. I can tell you're, authentic, and you take care of your clients. I can see the evidence of success. I can see the evidence. And think about that. So old school, new school. Just because I'm going old school and you're sitting down with somebody doesn't mean the new school isn't working, which is getting out there and advertising. The marketing is working. The marketing machine is working. So when I don't know that I've ever heard anybody say that directly to me, but guess what? It's happening other times because the familiarity, right? That's the whole thing. When it comes to these quote unquote experts out there that's never done a loan before, really never been a one percenter, and then they're telling you, hey, listen, this is what you got to do. And everybody's, you're an idiot to ever call anybody again and try to beg for business. Man, that's, by the way, it just irritates me when somebody says that. I've never begged for business one time in my life. I don't sit there, man, please send me one. It's, if you're not following up with people and you're not having a conversation, you're not trying to add value, then I don't mean, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, that's a path to cash, the path to success. That's a path to helping more people, which is really where the cash comes from. The more people you can help and the better way you can serve them, the more people you can serve, is the more money you make. It's kind of like the Go Giver book, great book. So please stop that. So right now I'm up to 15 total applications this month in the state of Georgia. I've got, I believe I have now, I'm not sure, I have 7 real estate agents that are committed to sending me business, that are qualified agents that are doing good business. And I'm continuing to grow that. I have had other conversations, but those are ones committed and starting to send me business and doing well. So not bad for the first month in. I was really kind of scared because the first month I was in the mortgage game, 2016, in June of 2016, my first month in, I had 16 applications off the bat. 16. I remember that because I charted it from day one. That's one of the things I've been, made me successful, right? Is I've just known my numbers. And 16. So I was really nervous as these were going. I'm like, okay, I got to get up. If I don't hit 16 in my first month in Georgia, after everything I've learned and coaching and all this stuff, then man, that's going to really stink. And so right now, just got to get a couple more. So I should blow past that. I better blow past that, and get where I need to go. So, I need to get 40, about 2 applications a month to hit my goal. And I've chunked it down. So, okay, this morning I actually wrote on a sheet, on a sheet paper, and put it, and actually just wrote it down with a marker and said, okay, by 4/23 of 2021, I will have 150 applications, credit applications, in the state of Georgia. So that will put me in track. That's basically 4 months in. That's averaging somewhere around 37 and a half, I believe it is, applications for the month. So I'm going to be right on track. And then of course, I continue to push, and I want to have 50, applications plus after that. My goal is to have 100 applications in Kentucky and 50 in Georgia by the mid-year. So Kentucky doing great, actually on pace to have more credit applications this month than I've ever had, in any month. So that's great. So things are working. I don't want this. This is not bragging. This is because I'm nobody special. I'm just trying to do special things. And that is just taking one foot in front of the other, knowing my 80-20 rule, trying to chunk my other 80-20 down because 4% is what actually is growing most of your business. And that is what I need to concentrate on. Okay. So enough about that. Let's get into the topic, the real topic. And that is, the real estate agent has a lender. So what? So what? Who cares? And so this kind of came up because I was asking a real estate lender, that was I'll try to help, and not my coaching program, but in our at my company, and just hey, did a message to her and how's things going. She said, the thing I'm struggling with right now is everybody has a lender. And I'm like, okay. So I didn't just tell her, so what? Because I'm telling you all, so what? Because I'm not directly talking to you, and may be rude, but the overlying theme is, so what? Who cares? And so being a power lifter and being a lifter, let's do the 3x5, 3 sets of 5 here. And the 3 sets of 5, is we're going to go into the mindset first. And the 5 I have for the mindset here is number 1, of course they do. Just knowing, of course they do. And so the mindset, when you're calling a real estate agent, you're talking to them, and this is not necessarily a cold call. This could be they're a seller agent on the other side. This could be somebody introduced you to them, but then they still have someone that, their lender, the lender buddy, whatever. So don't say it's just cold calls. It could be a lot of things. I mean, this could be a lot of ways you came in front of them. Maybe you had them an event and then you're following up with them, et cetera, et cetera. You get the point. But of course they do. So the first mindset that you need to get in your mind is, of course they do. I assume, I don't like to make an assumption because, kind of like on Pulp Fiction, if you remember that one, what he says, makes the ass out of you and me. That's what Samuel Jackson said. But, but really it kind of is an assumption. Really, I just think they do. I mean, that's cool. They probably do. I don't care if they do. This is not about being trying to go after people's business. I don't directly try to ever go after any loan officer's business. I don't look and say, I'm going to try to get their people. That's, if you are, that's really just, man, that's kind of low class. I mean, really, honestly, I just think that is. I mean, it's, should be all professionals. And we don't have to talk bad about people that are in, that are, our competitors. Should not. I have 2 really good buddies, that are lenders in Kentucky that we talk all the time, and I'm sure we've crossed paths, and there's some of their agents we're crossing paths with. I talked about the other day to them, like there's some things I won't do. I won't talk bad about them. If somebody says something bad about them, I will defend them. Right? Be good people. But of course they do. So that's the number 1 thing. We just need like 30% to win. Just think, hey, listen, I don't need, I can be like a baseball player and be in the Hall of Fame with 30%. So if you're calling 10, if you get hold of 10 realtors and you're trying to establish a relationship and you get 30%, you're doing fantastic. And so it's cool. You're not going to win them all. It's all good. It's a relationship game. Number 3 is a relationship game. It absolutely has to be a relationship. And so you got to know that, hey, they may be in a really good relationship with somebody, or it may just be a business relationship. Either way, it doesn't matter, but you're there to build a relationship. And at the end of it, it's okay. You don't have to worry about always getting the deal. Just build a relationship with somebody. Just be cool. Just be service. Just try to have, a service level about you and a servant attitude. And so that really goes to the 4th thing is initial contact plus follow-up plus value equals relationship. So you have to make the initial contact. You gotta, lace them up, make that call, make that contact, get in front of them, however that be that you're getting in contact with them. Doesn't always have to be a cold call, so don't like shiver off and run away. It could be a lot of ways, but initial contact, you can follow up with them. So if you had some initial contact, now follow up with them, and you got to then plus the value is going to equal the relationship. Okay, so just it's a relationship game. And number 5 is on the mindset is just remember, let's say you're making $2,000 per deal on average. You're making a $200,000 home. You're making 100 basis points. You're making $2,000 on a deal. Let's say you are. If you get a good agent, doesn't have to be the number one agent, get a good agent, and you're doing one deal a month, that's $24,000 that you made for that relationship by taking care of them, taking care of their clients, being service oriented, doing all those things, right? A client, so a lot of times, you got all these programs, oh man, you're going all these consumer direct, that client's worth $2,000 for that one client as far as a year. Now, I'm obviously saying the clients, we're talking about numbers, so people are not numbers, but when we're trying to grow our business, we have to look at like how much leverage we can have and all that. Be a good person, take care of the client. When the client comes in, take care of them. But when you're trying to go and you're just marketing towards just client base and facing, and that's it, they're $2,000, and say they refer you somebody else that's $4,000. Say you can get two more, get one more. Now I know you can keep multiplying that and all that, but if you get the relationship with the real estate agent, you're still be able to do that because you got the client anyway, right? So you're able to just do the same thing and multiply that, and just ask them to get another, get a referral, all that good jazz. So just remember, it's worth a lot of times 12 times what just getting a direct client is getting a relationship with somebody that gets the client for you. Now, if you're a real estate agent, don't be bummed out and say, oh man, I wish I had that. You have that. There's people that get to the client before you do. And you got this beautiful, nice house, obviously, that people come to beforehand, right? So you have something nice. Like loan officers, we don't have anything. We got the money. We're a means to the end. But you all have this nice house that you're dealing with, right? You have a nice product. Our product is not so sexy. It's hey, at the end of it, you got to pay money. But you have something really good. But financial advisors, you got nursing home directors, you got divorce attorneys, you got so many avenues of people that can get to the client before you do. So whatever you're in, insurance agent, obviously, lenders, I pass a lot to my insurance agent because they do a really good job and all that. And I don't expect, if I send them, I don't know how many my insurance agents got direct referrals from me this year. Last year was a ton, but I don't expect that all in return, because guess what? I get to the client before they do. So the point is, there's people that get to the client before you do. That's the relationships you need to start building. It's a relationship game, and they can a lot of times be worth 12 times just going consumer straight direct. Okay, so think about that. So that is the mindset you should be having. Now, what you need to stop doing. So the second set of five is stop. Put a big stop sign and stop overthinking it. Stop overthinking. So the one I was talking to, the loan officer I was talking to, she's overthinking it, right? It's like, oh man, the first thing you do is, well, they have somebody, and then this is happening here, and then this is this, and you're all of a sudden like spiraling to where you think this relationship is so tight, all of a sudden, like you think they're getting married or something. So you're just overthinking it. And so what I also want you to know is, talking about here in Georgia, I have a relationship now because I did this and I kept in front of it and tried to add value, just trying to do the right thing, trying to be a good dude. I'm getting deals from a guy that is friends with a loan officer in his building. Now, not because I'm anything awesome, not sitting there bloviating, but if I would have overthought it and said, oh my gosh, there's no way I can get that. He's got somebody literally, who cares? I felt like, he does really good business. So he's definitely someone I want to be in business with if I can. If nothing else, I can just, glean from some of his knowledge, right? We can have good business conversations. He was at my powerful event. So I was just going from a service level, servant attitude of, hey, I'll help you grow. That's what I did. Just trying to help them grow. I'm still continuously, hey, anything I can provide. Shot a video to them today about something 30 seconds about a loan, about loans, and 30 seconds about how to grow your business. Just a good refresher, adding value, communication, and communication, right? Communication and for me, it's coaching. That's my two things that main. Now there's other avenues, right? But those are those top two. So stop overthinking it. So it doesn't matter. That's the whole thing. Again, so what? So what that he had someone in his office that is buddies? It doesn't matter. And so there's another one on the team that was already like, man, I don't, before I started getting business from this one, the leader, he said, you know what? He likes to send it there, but I don't, the guy doesn't get back to me as quick as I want him to, et cetera. Well, guess what? Opportunity. And then I started doing a good job with him. And then, of course, that cascaded down to where the leader sent me business. And there's some other things I did to nurture that relationship. It was, so you have to, I talked about it before, you have to have a target list. You have to target some people and really try to, have value. And then once you get them in send you business, then you kind of continue to serve them, continue to have them so this is all about service. It's not about trickery. Oh my gosh, we're just taking it and we're just taking, I'm trying to give. How much better can we do for our clients? How much can we try to continue to ask and try to get referrals back so we can get them back? There's so many things, right? The second thing is don't take it personally. Stop taking it personally. That's a huge one. And you need to read and reread the book, The Four Agreements. And because taking it personally will absolutely kill this whole subject we got. And I've taken it personal before, and I've cost myself so much money. I remember I was doing really good business off the bat. I came out of the gate strong, and I felt like kind of a golden child. Like, oh my gosh, like everybody loves me. I'm closing deals fast. Just felt like, man, I just could do no wrong. I was like, man, this is good stuff. And I closed 3 loans, mind you, 3 loans that day. I had a few new contracts. I had people apply that day. I had a great day. It's Friday. Great day. Get some pizza and go home, man. This is a great day. So I get done eating dinner. It's a great day. Made money. And I'm on Facebook. And all of a sudden, guess what I see? One of my real estate agents bragging about another lender that just closed. And oh my gosh, like they were the best things since sliced bread. I was hurt. I was pissed. Ruined my whole night, my weekend. I felt like things were collapsing in because I was taking it personally. And I never reached out to that agent again. Not until later, until I kind of checked myself. It took me a long time, way too long, because I took it personally. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It is business, just business. We need to take some things personally of trying to grow and all this stuff, but like, understand, like, most of these people are not going to go to your funeral if you die. I know that sounds morbid, but just check yourself. Like, how much am I putting in that? You need to put all you can, energy you can into helping your partnerships grow and all this other stuff. But the moment you start taking it so personally that if somebody quote unquote cheats on you, that it's stopping you from making the next calls, then that's when you need to really dig and uncover and like, what's going on underneath. And for me, I had to dig and say, man, this is Adam, this is an ugly side of you, brother. It's the ugly side of you. You got to dig it out. You can't do this. It's costing you business. It's costing you relationships. Okay, so don't take it personally. This is a huge subject. I'm going to leave it there. Don't take it personally, please. Number 3, arguing. Don't argue with them. So if you call somebody to have an agent, or excuse me, have a real estate, if I can talk, have a lender, don't argue with them. It's cool. Great. We'll go. And by the way, I will have some scripting on this on a later podcast. So here pretty soon, but don't argue. It's great that they have one. Practitioner is better than a theorist, greater than a theorist. I tell you, I can go off on a tangent for a long time on this subject. I'm going to try to keep it short, but I am sick and tired, right, of seeing these people, experts out there, and I talk about it all the time, like these theorists out there say, stop calling people, or, you don't have to do that, and stop, they don't even know what they're talking about. Like, or they do, and they're just doing you a disservice. And they're like, well, our programs produce this. Well, what would it produce if people would actually stop being scared, taking it personal, and all this other stuff, and just stop avoiding doing what they should do and going straight towards the path to the cash? Like, all these things are happening. You're going way around to the path of cash, and you're trying to outform it. Now, like, I remember when I was powerlifting and I would, lifting 800 some pounds, and you'd have these experts lifting 300 pounds and being like, acting like you're stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. And that doesn't, well, the science said the science only is a science after it's already been proven out. The people that are in the know are ahead of the science. Like, it's always a curve that happens afterwards, because the science ain't supposed to be that way. And guess what? Somebody debunks the science, and then it becomes a science. Start listening to people that freaking have done it before at a high level, and not the theorists that want to take your money and like you walk all the way around the cash because you're too scared to do things and go straight to the cash. Like, I know I'm coming at you. I'm coming at myself because I've walked around the cash because as I grew and started putting armor on and started feeling comfortable, I started going around the cash, and the cash is right there. But guess what? I don't go right to the cash and say, hey, listen, I want to be a partner with you. Let's grow together. Let's do it. No, let's put all the Facebook ads out. Let's do all this. So I don't have to have a real conversation. Start having a real conversation, people. Start doing it the way you need to. There's practitioners, theorists. Stop talking and listen to damn theorists out there. Please stop it. Stop letting them take your money, because they're taking your money in 2 ways. They're taking your money by just grabbing it, and they're taking your money because they're making you walk around the cash. Go to the cash. Go to the relationships. Build the relationships. Build the legacy. That's what you do. Like, I'm coming at you with this. I'm coming at myself with this. Knock it off. You got this. And that's exactly the next thing really what I went into is avoiding the phone. Stop avoiding the phone. The phone is the best thing, the best tool in your tool bag. And I'm not talking about just doing videos. I'm talking about the phone like it was designed to be. Picking up the phone, making a call, making an excuse to call. Like when other people, you could text, you have an excuse to call. Don't really, you just have any reason to call, you call. Make the relationship, have the conversation, make the connection. Stop avoiding the call. And start. There's a 5, there's a third 5. Start being happy and detached from the sale. Start being happy for them that they have a good lender. Like you want to rain on their parade. Oh man, I hope their lender's stuck. Well, great. Guess what? They probably have a good lender. Doesn't matter. Be happy for them. Be detached from the sale. Again, just be servant. Just have conversations. It'll work itself out. Number 2, anywhere in the world. Now I want to talk about this. Anywhere in the world. So they have a lender. They have a lender. Okay. You have a home probably out there. There's people that have homes. And if you ask 10 people that own a home, do you love your home? Some are going to say, oh, I like my home. Some are going to say, I love my home. Some are going to say, I like it. Some are going to say, I love it. Some are going to say, not really. I don't like it at all. So apply that to the ones that are, the lenders. If you call 10 people, a couple people are not going to like really, really much care for their lender. That may be 2. Let's just say it's 2. 5 may like their lender. Let's just say, 3. Let's say 3. So this is 3. So you got 3, so that's 5. And 5 love their lender. So 5 out of 10 love their lender. Okay, well, I can only get, now you're thinking, okay, well, that's great, Adam. I can only get the ones that they really, I don't care for the lender that much, not a big deal. Well, usually that's the ones that are not really producing a lot most of the time out of 10 lenders, out of 10 real estate agents most of the time. Not always. Okay, well, okay, fine, not them, but I'll get the 3 that like, okay, possibly. But then you're leaving the other 5 on the table because they love their lender. Well, here's the question: anywhere in the world. So if you asked someone that loves where they live, if you ask me right now, do you love where you live, Adam? I'm like, yeah, I love it. I just moved here. I love it. I love this. Love it. Adam, if you could live anywhere else in the world, anywhere, where would you live? I have to think about that for a minute, but it wouldn't be right here. It wouldn't be in this home. Maybe a mansion somewhere, that's out, it's, the land's different, whatever. All right. So apply that to who you're talking to. They love their lender. But if they could have any lender in the world and make them and mold them into what they want, would they be different? And and out of those 5, probably at least 3 of them would. So stop taking their word for it. They love their lender. They may, but there's still room for improvement. There may be something that you can do that others are not. And also, and conversely, just remember that when you get people in your staple of people sending you business, that you have to continue to try to make sure you wine and dine them. Doesn't mean you're paying for stuff. It means that you're creating value, that you're staying in front of them, that you're always asking, hey, what else can I do, etc. Okay. So anywhere else in the world. So think about that. When you call somebody anywhere else in the world, so think, okay, they're living in California, but they'd really live in Hawaii if they could. That's where they love. Okay. So think about that. Ask questions, real simple. So keep asking questions, ask them good questions, get some good dialogue. Don't stop talking about, go back and stop, but ask questions. Just stop talking about yourself so much and talk about what they got going on. They love that. The most interesting person in the world or the room is the one that asks the most questions, most heartfelt, good questions, right? Be prepared to add value. So just be prepared. So in my my real estate transformation playbook, and in my own, it says what value I'll add. So before you go on the call, and it could be very specific, like I'm talking about this today, like for me coaching. I'm talking about the 80-20 rule and another 80-20 rule and the 4%. So that's what I'm trying to get out there and create value. So what value are you going to add? So be prepared beforehand. You make your calls or you make your contact. You know what value you're going to add. And the number 5, start doing, keep doing, continuously keep doing. Still go for the meeting. Still go for the meeting. Just go for the meeting. It goes back to not overthinking it. Just go for the meeting. You know, I mean, unless their tone is just like they hate you and they're like ready to punch you in the throat by calling them, still go for the meeting. And then you can follow up and go for a meeting again. Just go for the meeting. And just realize you're detached from the sale. You're just, there's other ways to go for a meeting other than, hey, listen, you're going to send me business. Maybe I want to learn from you. There's so many things that you can talk about and go for a meeting. You can have events that you're inviting them to, like I do my powerful event, still going for the meeting, trying to get in front of them, trying to add value. All this plays in. So the 3x5. So the mindset has to be right off the bat. You got to stop doing some things. You got to start doing some things today and start growing your business in the way you want to. And like, man, the most passionate thing I hope you get from this is stop walking around the cash. Stop listening to theorists. You can it's right there, but you're going to have to uncover what is going on in your head that you don't think you can go straight for the cash. And one of those biggest things I hear again is, I want to beg for business. If you think you're begging for business, you're just doing it wrong. Your mindset's wrong. Like, where in the world should you get that? Because you're calling and following up with people and trying to add value and trying to talk to people in a normal, civilized way. Are you sleazy? If you're sleazy and just the quote unquote, I'm sorry, car salesman, I love you. Car salesman that people associate with being a car salesman, because I know a lot of high level car salesmen. They are great and they can do a great job in any industry. But you use car salesmen, the people associated with car salesmen, if you're going about things that way, then yeah, maybe you should feel like, okay, that I'm begging for business. If you're going for relationships and you're just trying to add value, and the fact is you're doing everything you can on the back end, that when you get these clients, you're going to take care of them, you're going to take care of the partnership, then there you go. Like I literally right now, I continues to put, I just hired another person on my team to come on board this next Monday. And, one of the realtors that I got, she's been sitting, she said 10 referrals this last month to this one loan officer. And she said she's friends with him too. She's friends with him. She likes him, but he's getting slower and slower to get back because, one, he's probably busy, quote unquote busy. And he's probably somewhat kind of got comfortable with, that relationship and not doing everything you can to put her on a VIP. And she's like, I love your full service here. You have people that are in place. Yes, you can always get a hold of somebody. And I'm adding somebody else. And that was like, okay, this is a no-brainer. By the way, just a little tidbit for you as well. I set this appointment up as a little diner. It was, what day was it? Supposed to be Wednesday or Thursday. I was supposed to meet her 10 a.m. 10 a.m. rolls around. She's not there. I call her and say, hey, she said, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. This is not me. I apologize. This came up and, it's just, it's just not like me. I said, it's okay. She said, no, it's not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. And I said, well, that's cool. And so of course we went back and forth and I was like laughing. I said, well, hey, you could just send me a client and, that'll make up for it. And start laughing. She's like, actually I do. And then it really opened up a conversation because she was kind of on the ropes to have a good conversation, an open conversation where she's actually listening now because she felt kind of bad. I wasn't taking advantage of it more than just now we can have an open dialogue. Now we can have a good open dialogue because she was really open to it. So we had a really good conversation. And then I got her on a Zoom call with my team, like day or two later, to go through how we do business. She's like, okay, man, this is absolutely, I'm sending you business. This is, for sure. You will get my next deal. I love how you operate, all this. So one of the things to take out of that is I do not confirm my appointments, which you think, oh man, I don't want to drive because I drove 40 minutes away to have this coffee but guess what? I didn't confirm it. If I'd have confirmed it, what could have happened? She would have said, oh man, I'm sorry. Something came up. I can't get there. What happened was that she didn't come. Oh crap, goofed. I followed up. She knew I drove a ways, felt horrible about it. And then we had a good conversation. Right? See what I'm going there? So I'd rather miss appointments and go somewhere and have a bigger opportunity to have a follow-up and actual, not because unless somebody's just, and I've had them, somebody just doesn't care and they're kind of just call them a prick. They're just, they just don't care about anybody or themselves, that they missed an appointment and they stood you up. You're going to have some of those, but you have a lot of opportunity if somebody doesn't and you show up in time or show up when there's, at all, they goof, to then have a deeper conversation because now they're like, oh man, I kind of owe them something. And the only thing I want them to owe me is time to talk and have a good conversation. They don't owe me. I was joking about the next deal, but obviously it was good. She's like, yes. But open now for a conversation. So don't confirm your appointments with the referral partners like that. Confirm appointments on different things, but one of them, we're not confirming your appointment of that. It's like, oh man, what if they miss? And hey, listen, it's going to happen. But you have a higher likelihood of gaining that relationship by that scenario. So that's about all I have. Remember, go out there, absolutely crush it. Don't worry about whoever you're trying to get a hold of. If they have another service provider, doesn't matter who they have. Just go out. Make sure if it's a relationship game, you follow up, you follow through, you try to create as much value as you can and just stick with it. Don't take it personal and absolutely stop listening to those experts, quote unquote, expert theorists out there that's never lifted the weight, never got on the bar and telling you how to lift that heavy weight, which is prospecting, which is the path of least, it's maybe resistance, but it's a path to cash the quickest. It's a straight line and not going around it. So go straight to it, go straight to the relationships, go straight to the value, go straight to absolutely crushing your business in the quickest, fastest manner. You owe it to yourself. You got no choice for growth, legacy, impact for you and your family. Go out there. Remember, limited risk equals limited income. I'm out.